Have you ever experienced a true wave of relief? That sensation of all the anxiety, jitteriness, hyperarousal, hypervigilance we felt just ease us away. If so, that's wonderful. I'm so glad for you. I think we've all felt that at some moment. But here's the thing, what you may not have pondered is, where did that relief actually come from? And in today's episode of Heard Online, we are going to look at some truly remarkable insights from the world of smoking cessation and Alan Carr. It's actually, I've thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. And why is this Heard Online? Well, this all came from a recommendation right here on YouTube in the comment section. Somebody said, hey Daniel, like what you teach is so similar to what Alan Carr teaches about smoking cessation. And so I bought this book, and I've been really, really blown away by so many similarities. So I actually just want to share two with you, two real insights. One is about tension and relief, and the other one is just about like racing thoughts and obsessive thoughts. And I intend to actually make a real, true, like long format video that's going to be like maybe an hour and a half. I don't know, where I really go into the depths of this book and mine it. But for today, I just want to share two things. And let's start with page 57, I believe it was. Yeah, here it is. Actually, page 57 and 58, where Alan Carr describes the following. Within 7 seconds of lighting up, the nicotine contained in a cigarette reaches the brain, and the craving ends, along with a feeling of anxiety and irritability, resulting in the feeling of relaxation and security that the cigarette appears to give to the smoker. This is an illusion, though. The feeling of relief is really just the ending of the state of tension that was created by the previous cigarette. When I read this, I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what we teach on sleeping pills, and where the relaxation and sleep comes from when we take those. There is an illusion there, and the illusion is that, the chemicals in a sleeping pill makes us relax or makes us sleep, which actually cannot happen, because peace of mind and peaceful sleep are effortless states. They come from not trying. So how can we explain this? Well, I explain it exactly the same way as Alan Carr does, meaning, imagine if you don't actually want to take a sleeping pill. You're trying to come off of it. You feel conflicted about it, but you're also anxious. You want to sleep well, and you're thinking about like, oh my gosh, I want to sleep well, but I don't want to take this pill. What if I become addicted to it? What if I take, what if I undo all my progress? And, the tension builds, the tension between wanting to sleep well and not wanting to take the pill, that builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. And then finally we are so anxious that we decide to just take it, and then relief. Now there's nothing more to ponder. And the tension is completely relieved because we took it, and we feel that wave of relief, and we can think that it came from the chemicals in the pill, but it was actually just because the tension from the conflict is resolved now. And Alan Carr is saying this, it's the same thing with cigarettes, that it's not the chemicals in a cigarette that make us feel relaxed. Rather, it is the tension that is built up, because he says that for a smoker has two desires that really dominate their life. And one is the desire to stop smoking because they know it's not good for them. And the other desire is to smoke. And this tension can build up to such strong levels that the only thing that can relieve it is actually smoking, because then there's no pondering. You're actually smoking right now. And that's where the relaxation and relief comes from. So I think this was, really remarkable similarity. And the other one I want to point out comes much later in the book. This is now page 235, where we're towards the end of the book, and he's talking about some misunderstanding of instructions. And he said the first one, he says, is the following. I can't stop thinking about smoking. Of course you can't. And if you try, you will create a phobia and be miserable about it. It's like trying to fall asleep at night. The more you try, the harder it becomes. It is inevitable that you will think about smoking. And this, again, just struck me. First of all, the example, and that he actually mentions sleep, in his book. And the thing is that so often the same question comes up in our world. And it's somebody who says like, hey, Daniel, you say that we sleep well when we don't pay attention to our sleep, but I'm thinking about sleep all the time. How can I stop that? And what Alan Carr says is so true, that if we try to stop ourselves from thinking about it, we will just think more about it. It's like when somebody says, don't think about a pink elephant. Of course you think about a pink elephant. And the more we try to stop, the more we just end up thinking about that. So the paradoxical answer is that we can just allow thoughts to come and go. We don't try to push them away or stop them, etc. And they become fleeting, which is their nature. Like thoughts by nature are fleeting. So yeah, for today's Heard Online, I just want to share some real insights from this remarkable book. But at some point, I don't know when, there will be a really long video where we really get into the remarkable similarities between our teaching and that of Alan Carr, and some differences too. There's some things that in Alan Carr's methodology that I'm like, really, it kind of surprised me. But yeah, I hope these little insights, little nuggets were helpful to you. And if you are, if things are going well on your end, please share it with us. Always nice to hear from somebody who's finding their way out of the struggle. But on the other hand, if you are not doing that, if you feel like isolated, alone, if you're not feeling like yourself again, you're not quite sure how to arrive at that place of relief, then please head over to thesleepcoachschool.com, check out our coaching options. And if you decide to join, we look forward to seeing you on the other side. That was all for today. Look forward to having you back real soon. Bye for now.